Good morning, Doc here from North America. Good morning, as I just said, and good evening, and good afternoon, and happy midnight, whatever. That's where we go here. Let's see what's going on. We got a blank page there right now. Let's see. There's the, let's see what the Swiss shows right off on the fact check spreadsheet. We'll get a chart up there. Let's get the, there is that. There's the J4X. Let's get the Swiss on there. And as you can see, it's at line 21. Now, did I do that again? I hate when I do that. So I hit upload, and then it disappears. I can go, gone. There we go. Now line 21, you see 3 weeks in a cell and 1 day in a cell. And you can see now they're trying to lift here on the J4X side of it. Let's take a look at it through the Chicago quad right there. And you can see the zigzag we did there. It's not as smooth as the J4X today. Where is it? You're hiding? There you are. Okay. And there it is right there. You can see, we went into, we didn't go into a cell yesterday. Okay, so it's not, because I didn't see the red and green. So we can get rid of that. So what are we going to buy? Let's see, buy, sell, no sell because of red and green, buy, sell, red and green, buy. So 1, 2, 3, 4 days. That's what it's. 4 days in a buy. That's what that is. Darn it! I downloaded that again. 4 days in a buy. Okay. Sometimes the fact check spreadsheet can get off course. And let's do that. There we are. And that's the reason why you can see traders, because it's a manual thing. I have to put these numbers in. Sometimes I miss it once in a while, but I try to double check it, triple check it at times. And in the J4X, they're reconfirmed. Sometimes I see J4X taking off in a different direction. I go, let's double check, let's see which one's on target. And in this case here, it kept us awake. And you can see here, lifting up. We got 2 days, 2 out of 3 days, green on the Hinky Ashies. And you can see here, we went into no dot here, which pushed it into the buy. And now what we're waiting for is to see if this thing is going to go back down and challenge this bottom end of the channel. And this is just a dead cat bounce since going into the weekly sell up in here. And see if it just does that dead cat bounce. And that's a cat. And there you go. It's a dead cat bounce. And you can see there, it's doing that. Now let me jump over to the chat line and see if anybody's there. They've all hung up. Oh, that's it. I'm not listening to this guy make cat noises. It's like, well, Schrodinger made cat noises, and look how popular he is. All right. And nope, I don't see anything. Nobody up on the chat line, so I haven't missed any questions there. Let's see, what else have we got going on here? I guess that's about it. So what we're seeing is, I guess we're seeing that the Swiss at the moment is trying to make a bounce, and that's a good way of following the dollar. But I'm not totally convinced that they're really going to go anywhere. If that weekly won't get going, I don't expect to see the thing really dig in and get going. So that is what it is. All right, now let's jump over to the euro. Let's see how the euro's looking here this morning. And there's the euro on the Chicago quant. If we can widen that, there we are. You see, it's still in a daily sell. Is it? Let's just check the fact check spreadsheet, and let's go over to J4X. There it is. Okay, so it's bouncing up too. Let's see what's going on there. And over on, let's see, right, line 14, that's what it is, line 14. 2 days in a sell there, okay. You can see the red going on here. You can see our work right there. It's still holding down. But on J4X, it's trying to, okay, so it's trying to bounce. The scale's a little off there. But we got all this red going on, and you can see it's trying to lift through it. Excuse me, today, but our work is not turning up. Now, Last week it just missed getting into that buy. You can see today it is hanging right there on the edge. It's at plus 0.00014. So it's trying to get into that weekly buy. We've been in that weekly sell. Where are you? Let's contract that a little bit. We've been in the sell since up in here, which is the 117 area. And you can see we've got down to, what did we do? We went down to the 115 area. And then we've run all the way back up to the basically 117 area, 116.90. And now we've fallen back down a little bit, made a low at 115.13, and now it's trying to lift back up again. We'll see. If this closes in a weekly buy and we can get into a daily buy, which you can see J4X is trying to do right now. It just needs some green here. You know, and this line stays firm. We get this to turn up. Unfortunately, likely condition would be is that the J4X will roll over because it's behind our work normally. So we'll just see how they play this out, but I would assume that's the name of the game right now. We're just going to be stuck in that curve for a while, and you know, for the next couple hours. And you know, you can see the Chicago Quant's trying to lift up, but you see it's giving us a red and a green where the arrow is. So we're getting both. You know, it's just a volatility signal more than it is a directional signal, with a green dot by its lonesome, just like a red dot is a bearish sign by its lonesome. And that's pretty much the way the euro is looking. I don't think I heard any really major news one way or the other over the weekend. I think it was relatively quiet. I'm trying to think what I heard. Normally there could be some good articles here or there, you know, that kind of give us a little bit more insight. We started off last night showing some weakness across the equity market, but I think everything is plus at the moment. And you know, we have 5 weeks left to the end of the year, so there's going to be a lot of window dressing going on. You know, there's going to be funds out there and institutions buying so that they can say, we have this product in our portfolio, and then they go, oh, and by the way, this product is up, you know, like 42% for the year. They may have only been long it and gotten maybe 2 or 3% plus. They could be even minus it. I doubt they're short, so they can't be minus it. But what they did is they missed that 42%. But they tell their investors they are long it in the portfolio, and it has been up, like, you know, 38%, 42%, 58%, whatever, 110%. And they try to pretend that they've been long it in their portfolio, and they may have. They may have had, you know, in a balanced portfolio, and instead of having a full 5% of it, they may have had like 1 or 2%. They may have been undervalued in it because they were concerned about it. But due to the fact that it's turning up, this last quarter is usually the window dressing, and that's what they refer to as window dressing. They try to make their investors think that they're really smart and that they've been involved in this from day one, and they made, you know, the portfolio made a big chunk of money from it, when in fact sometimes it barely makes any money at all. You know, just a little money because they were under invested. So what they do is they push themselves into being fully invested at the end of the year when it has had a great year, and then they can go out and ballyhoo, hey, look at that, I knew what to do, what to do, what to do, what to do. And then you wonder, how did they underperform the indices though? That's the one that always catches my eye. You know, it's like when they do this window dressing, then you go and look and you go, yeah, but the standard is up like, you know, 23% for the year, and you're only up like 14%. You underperformed the standard. And they go, oh yeah, well, and they point out, you know, some product that may have taken it on the chin, you know, and they go, well, you know, next year. It's funny. It's funny. That's the way it works in the investment world. All right, let's jump over to the cable. Oh, wait, yes, let's see cable. See what the cable's up to. And there it is right there. You know, daily sell for a bunch of days. Let's see how it looks on the fact check spreadsheet. And there it is, line 13. And you can see that 6 days in a sell, and it went into the weekly sell last week. You know, you can see, matter of fact, you can see the, we didn't put the line in there, the little circle's still in there, like that. Cable's I would say to me personally, I think this cable was the surprise of the weakness. You know, whatever economic political thing that did it. You know, it's driven it back down towards the bottom end. We talked about this on Thursday and Friday. How when it got to here, we thought, okay, it'll probably zigzag on the 0.134, you know, the 0.23 of the Fibonacci sequence. And you can see it dipped through it on Thursday, or no, that's Friday. And then you can see on Monday here, they're lifting it back up again. But, you know, our daily's not lifting, our weekly's not lifting. So it's not exactly something you want to be too brave about yet. Wait for it to get into at least a daily buy before covering those shorts. And then obviously, what's the next side of it? Then, you know, let's see if we see the green line get through the time manifold there, the golden line there, or yellow line. If it starts to lift, maybe we'll get some buying in there, we get some green dots, and then it'll tell us. But right now, it's just probably going to vacillate like it did here. Vacillate on the 2-3. Ooh, T, kind of quiet though. No one has any questions. So let's jump over to one of our favorites to watch. We watch the dollar Turkish Lira and the Euro Turkish Lira, solely because it's one of the more volatile currencies out there for the last, I guess you could say, decade now, since President Erdogan. You know, I like to say President/Prime Minister Erdogan. He has been both, and he's deeply involved in the economic policies of that country. There is no I guess you could call it sharing of responsibility. He likes to have all the power, and his objective has obviously been, you know, as we watch these two currency pairs, is to devalue the Turkish lira against the dollar and against the euro to bring investment. That's usually how you try to bring in investment. Another way would be is a policy, an economic policy that really makes investors hungry to be involved. And then the second way, when you can't do that, the second way is to just devalue your currency until it becomes so undervalued that it forces foreign investors, or even domestic investors, to be more invested in the economy itself. So far, it's not working whatsoever, and we've seen this currency now go from the 1.5-2 area up to the 11 area in the euro Turkish lira, and we see the dollar Turkish lira almost bang the 10 from 1.5-2. So obviously, it's not completed its strategy that the President/Prime Minister Erdogan has been working towards. He's pushing and pushing, and I guess sooner or later it will happen one way or the other. I guess, you know, if it has to go to 15 or whatever, I guess, whatever it takes, I guess he's going to do to get that economic increase into their country. You can see here the weekly, you know, we've had this big giant box we keep each week. You can see here the manifold is being challenged. You can see that. We see the green line moving down towards it, but look at that. The histogram is flirting with the manifold itself, the plus side of the manifold. So that's something to think about. You know, maybe it's run its course for the time being. The end of the year, I hope it sure doesn't. You know, at the end of the year, sometimes you see some really wild moves in currencies. Let's hope that they don't take this thing up into the 14s or something like that, or 13s. You know, by the end of the year. Let's hope that it stays steady and makes it easier, because obviously the more the currency drops in value against everything, it becomes more expensive to import. And that's the only thing, but what becomes cheap to import is foreign money, since foreign money is more valuable. So that's the logic of that, is if you devalue your currency enough, it forces through greed and capitalism and opportunity and, you know, growth and any word you want to, any adjective you want to describe it as, it forces money to try to come into that country and try to invest. And that's what I guess, obviously that's the strategy. If it goes from 1.5-2 to 12, obviously the strategy is to devalue the currency to get investors into the country. At least that's the only thing I can figure. All right, now let's take a look at the Turkish lira versus the euro. Let's see, right there. There we are. You can see it's holding up on that daily buy thing since like right here. So I guess we could steal one of these. Let's do this. We'll steal that one right there since it's doing nothing. So it went into the buy right there. And it couldn't go into the sell because why, traders? We had a red and a green. So we had to wait the next day, and then you see the next day it cleaned itself up. So at the same time, we were in a weekly buy anyway, so you weren't going to short it no matter what. Oh, there we go. There's middle age. With time change, I'm able to watch the entire webinar. Corn and oh yeah, how about coffee? When you get a chance, Doc. I always got a chance. You seek, and I shall find. So let's check out corn. Let's open up corn. I think I just deleted JO though. I'll find it. I like JO. Don't ask me why I deleted it. I think someone asked me to find something, and I went and found it. And I needed a spot. I put it in the JO spot. But we'll put a JO back up there. Alright, so let's see. Down here is what? Oh yeah, it's that one. Right there. There we go. Alright, so let's give you the first one that I know I can give you. And that is corn. December corn. Looking hot and heavy, I can tell you that. As you can see on the fact check spreadsheet. Let's see, let's move that over. Now let's go to here. And let's find you corn. Cornucopia. Right there, there's deck corn. Alright, yeah, so it's in a weekly buy for a long while here. Since back in here, since the 520 area, 518 area. And then they gave us a little challenge. We went into a daily sell and it fell down and did make a new, yeah, I guess it made it, did it make a new low? I guess it did. It made a new low. And then climbed, but the weekly wouldn't give up, and then it had its rampage and took off of this buy. And went into a sell here. Just move that over one. Right there. And so we've been in the sell on a daily sell there, but our weekly is still holding up, as you can see. Let's just move it up a little bit like that. And you can see today it's acting strong and firm there. And our daily is still in the sell, so you've taken your profits. It was a winner-winner chicken dinner on that nice massive move. And it was a winner-winner on the downside in the sense of you're not long, even with a weekly signal. Now if you're a producer, obviously that's a whole different game, of course. You need to hedge yourself, and that's why you do like butterflies and trapezoids and things like that in the binary option world. And then you know, maybe sell a little futures contract here or there, or forward as they would call them. And so there's the corn. Now, let's check out the JO, the coffee. Coffee Olay. Where's it? There we go. Here it comes. Uber duper. Yeah, I think I ended up, let's put it in there. Where's it? There's Uber. There's coin, there's silver. We don't need SPY. Let's change SPY into coffee. Format, JO. Again, JO. Oh, look at that. Okay, so been in a weekly buy since here. Guess we can get rid of that one and get rid of that one. And so we've been in a weekly buy and we're flirting with a weekly sell today. Is that today? No, that's Friday. Closed in a weekly sell. Oh, I didn't need to get rid of that sell. Oh, darn. Let's see. Maybe we can steal another one from somewhere. No, there's a sell. Let's steal that one. You know what I can do? I can grab this buy and just change the color to it. And let's move it over again. Let's move it over again. So it went into the sell there. Interesting. And then we need to put a buy in there. So let's put a buy in there. Right. Where's the buy? Right there. And there's your buy in the coffee. And then it goes into a sell again right there. It doesn't last too long. We'll have to fix the top ones too. Like so. And 1 week later, it's right back into the buy again. This thing's a rampage, isn't it? And then it goes into a sell, and then back in. Oh, that sell is back here too. So it goes into the sell there. Let's see, where's our daily sell? First of all, let's widen that also at the same time. There we go. And then reset, format, properties, scaling, screen. There we are. Let's see if we can fix that. We'll go from reverse. So now, let's put the sell in there. So Friday it pushed itself into the sell. There we are. And daily did the same thing. So we'll steal that one right there. That was Friday. There was a daily buy right there. That was a winner. Let's see. Let's grab that sell right there. That didn't last long, did it? There's a buy right there. That was no good at all. Look at that. Poor thing went into a buy, and we're long a weekly buy, and you get your head handed to you there. Then there's a loss. There's that 1.5. Then we go into a sell here. Wow, it got choppy there at the end, didn't it? Right there. And then we can put a long in here. How's that? Barely anything. Look at it. Took it up to it, but... And I guess, you know, the way you trade it with options, you know, you were long... If you're watching the weekly, you're long all this stuff here. And then, let's see... where are we at? There's a sell right there. That's an interesting one. Let's take a green and turn it into a red. There's the sell there. But we're in a weekly buy, so you're just not long at that point. And the daily buy is right... Ooh, there's a red one underneath it. Check this out. There's your buy there. You can't go into a sell there. So if you get put into a buy here in this weekly buy, it clocks itself. But you're still stuck in the buy. And sure enough, it pays for itself. And hence, you know, you use those options, so you do fine. I'm flat, but looking for a spot to get long corn. Well, you know, yeah, I could see waiting, you know, let's go back to that corn real quick. Corn, right there, I guess, you know, if we can get this back up again, you know, being in the weekly buy like that. You know, Robin and I have been talking about the wheat and so forth, and we're watching the meal, you know, how we were all watching the meal, the soybean meal. And I was saying, you know, with oats and wheat, you know, they're taking this stuff up. Everybody's planting it, and at the same time, you know, the thing is locked in the $7 range. You know, the high to mid $7 range in the wheat. And here's deck wheat doing the same thing, but not falling as much. But it's, you know, and it played with its weekly sell last week, and now it's lifting back up again. And just like the way, you know, corn didn't even do that. You know, it bent a little bit across the time manifold and lifted up. So I was saying to Robin, you know, especially the red wheat and just wheat in general, everybody's got it in, but everybody's sold it. You got to figure if they're planning it, more than likely they've already sold it. So they've sold their wheat, I was saying to Robin, in the 740 area, and now it's gotten up to $8. And I'm like, you know, it's hard to believe that, you know, wheat is not going to get short squeezed, you know. You can see there, it ran all the way up to, we were talking about it like in here. I was saying, you know, we're in a weekly buy and a daily buy, and everybody's planning it. You got to figure that all the forward contracts have been sold. And so, you know, they put it in the ground in the 730s and 720s and 740s. I said, you watch, it'll go to 8.5. Sure enough, it got up to 803. Oh no, 806. And now it's backing off a little bit. We'll see how this does. I agree with you. If we can get back into a daily buy, especially with the shallowness of this sell, and this thing starts to bounce and the weekly starts to take off, oh my God. You know, it's like another... I said to Robin, I wouldn't be surprised to see wheat get into the 8.5 area or 8.75 or something like that. Let's see, Middle Age says, I think coffee will go a lot higher in the future, but looking a little top heavy at the moment. Yeah, well, let's go back to that chart. It does look top heavy. Yeah, I mean, you can see we even have like this one. We're in a weekly buy here, right? And it's in a daily sell for a couple days here, and barely makes a new low. You know, matter of fact, it doesn't make a new low. It doesn't take this low out, and then it pops, right? And you're not short because we're in a weekly buy, you know. So then you get long on this, thinking, okay, you know, we're getting one of these again. It's a gap up and all that. And then the next day they open it down. I think there was some news out or something like that. We have a client that we try to convince not to trade when they're doing news, you know, major news. And so I think it was right around there. So then that gets smacked, right? And so there's an actual loss, you know, out of our math. We're in a weekly buy and it goes into a daily buy, and they smack the daylights out of the poor thing. And then you get back into your buy here and it makes a little of it back, you know, maybe close to it, but nothing fantastic. And now we've closed in a weekly sell and a daily sell. We didn't close it, did we? Wait a minute. What is it? Oh, that's coffee. Okay, yeah. I was going to say, did we do that in wheat? No. And so, so something's going on there. Also, that's why aren't you and Robin and I are all watching meal, soybean meal, right? Because of that story coming out of Brazil, where coffee's, you know, the major player. We're all watching the meal, thinking that there could be a breakout on the meal, the soybean meal, because there's a story that we saw, something about going into February or January, there should be some issues, which is the height of the summer in Brazil. So, good morning, Douglas. Let's see, Middle Age says, I think coffee, right. And so, I wonder if coffee's going to join in with, well, it has already, hasn't it? Coffee's at all-time highs, right? Right there. Isn't that October 12th like an all-time high or something like that? Yeah, it took out the July high, which is the dead of their winter. I mean, that's pretty high, and I think like a year ago, in September of 2020, yeah, I mean, you're looking at, you know, it hit 40, and now we're trading, you know, as high as 56. So we're getting some wild action there. Yeah, Robin was starting. We were looking at the what were we chasing after? We were chasing a bull spread, you know, a binary in meal on Friday. Let's check out the meal. Meal's been sideways, but lifted the last couple days, you know, last week or so. And I think it closed in a weekly buy last week. I think that's what happened there. Where's meal at? Where's the meal? I know it's here somewhere. Oh, I know it is. We haven't parked all the way down at the bottom. Right, because we're watching March meal, Jan meal, and Dec meal. Let's check out the Dec meal. Yeah, Dec meal, yeah, closed in a weekly buy. And see what it's doing today. There you go. So yeah, there's the Dec meal. It's very firm. I thought it closed in a daily sell there on Friday. Looks like I'm wrong. Might be still in a daily buy from all the way back here in the Dec meal. So they're starting to squeeze the Dec meal, but it was down for the day. That's what it was. But we're not in a daily sell at all. No, it's still closed in there. Let's see what the other meal looks like. The Jan meal, right there. Okay, what is that? That's Friday. Let's fill that in. So Friday, that closed in a daily sell, the back months. Yeah, it's still down there. That's what we're watching. We're watching the back month for that. Because I think it was you or Robin or both of you saw the same article. So, yeah, so it's in a weekly buy now, but in a daily sell. That's why we were looking at that. See, Doug says, morning, I'm still long meal. Okay. Deck cattle. Let's check that out. There's April cattle. You can see it closed in daily buy there on Friday. It's still in a weekly sell on Friday from here, and it's already come back up from it. And now we're starting to get into that. Now let's look at deck cattle. Right there. Deck cattle's doing the same thing. Trying to, it's climbed into a daily buy on Friday and is trying to get there with this. Yeah, this is going to be interesting because the currencies, they, these international commodities, especially the soybeans and the wheat and the corn, they're a currency in its own right. People can be long dollars or short dollars. You want to be short a dollar. What you do is you go and short American corn, wheat, or soybean, and then you need to buy dollars or you short them, and at the same time you short the commodity. So then you can go buy a call on the commodity and still be short dollars for delivery because you sold it, and then you have the right to exercise the call if you want, but you're not trapped. It's remove that zero-sum factor. All right, there's a lively conversation we just had. I like that. That's very good. I love that. I like looking at all this. And currency traders, that's how we look at this. There are times, since we've talked about this all the time, let's just go over and look at it. Let's switch screens. And what the issue is that these currencies have a natural tendency, like when you look at the euro, they're trading at the bottom end of their range right now. And you see how this range is established by the Federal Reserve and the central banks and the U.S. Treasury. And so if you move too much out of the range, they declare you a manipulator. And you don't want to be declared a manipulator because you won't get free money. If you're not a manipulator, you get free money. But if you start to manipulate, you don't get free money. So that's part of that process right there. Indeed, indeed. So that's where we are at the moment. Now, let's see what else we got going on here. So that's why we pay attention to the currencies. And then you got to imagine, like Canadian, big producer in like wheat, and what else is there up north? They produce a lot, sorghum, and they produce a lot, and they've had issues. And their currency gets reflected by that too. Because that's a really nice natural resource country. They got the oil, they've got the gold, they've got the silver. They've got 30-some-odd million people. They're protected on their southern border by the United States in the sense of we're not firing rockets like Hezbollah or something like that's doing at their neighbor all day long. That type of thing. Hamas, let's float some balloons over the Canadian border and start fires in their forests. The Canadians don't have that issue with us in America. So, let's see what else we can say about that. I heard the Ukraine they're garnering troops at the borders or something. I don't know. What's all this muscle flex thing? Can anybody play capitalism instead? Just be friendly and just try to grow the world? I bought some March calls in the Australian dollar. Oh, I'll tell you. Let's take a look at the Aussie. The Aussie's been, where is it on? First, let's go to the fact check. Let me go here. I'll put it up on the screen. And then we'll go over to the fact check and take a look at that at the same time, and then we'll put it on J4X. Right there. There's the Aussie. And you can see it's in a daily sell for a bunch of days now. The weekly is still holding up, I guess. Yeah. Is that how that's working? The weekly is still in a buy. You see it on the fact check right there. So we're like 4 weeks in a buy, and we're 4 days in a sell. So you're kind of trapped in that neutral. with the sell-off, and if we can get into a buy again, maybe it'll be some action on the upside there. I think we're looking at the 3.5, but we're not utilizing. I'm not sure how I don't pay attention to it enough anymore to remember. But we have a 3.5 on here, and the blue line is the 5. So you can see the weakness, and you can see how the 5 leads us. So the beta is somewhat more to the nature of that. But the smoothing out when using the 3.5 helps us. So like it goes into the weekly buy right here at the top, and at the same time we go into a daily sell at that same moment, so you can't get long. See, it smooths it out. Right now, the 5 is flirting underneath, and we're in a daily sell since here. Let's put a daily sell in there. Come on, what's up with this? Give me my line. There it is. So we go into the sell there. And it does go down from there, and you can see we're getting a volatility signal at the moment. Let's see what it looks like on J4X. There it is right there. Same thing with the hinkies all red, the line underneath, showing the pressure. Let's see how it looks on a weekly on the same system. Right there. And the 5 is giving us that flavor, and we know that it's breaking down. Yeah, see, we got a red there. It's trying to break down here. Yeah, so we can see that weakness, and the daily is leading us. March calls. Yeah, I think that's a decent zone to go after too. I was a little surprised, watching the Royal Bank of Canada and the Royal Bank of Australia start to break away and try to adjust to the realities of what's on the ground, compared to this free money forever out of the Federal Reserve and the quantitative forever. We see that action going on. I remember mentioning it and actually talking about that. We were, that and the Canadian, both of them. And at the same thing, the ECB is doing something. The three of them, the three majors, in many ways, are, some of the major currency pairs are starting to adjust without the Federal Reserve. I think we connoted that, or thought about that, or described it as the lack of faith in Mr. Biden. So in other words, they're not that fearful, because they don't, they know which direction he's in now, and it's not in their favor, that's for sure. All right, let's see what else we got going on. I guess that's it. We can jump over to the Canadian as we speak about it. Can you look at Gbp Jpy? Sure. Hey, you doing, 47? Hope you had a nice weekend. Let's see what's going on there. Let's put it on J4X first on a daily basis. Oh, well, let's take a look at the weekly. Gbp Jpy. Right there. Let's get up on Chicago. Gbp is NZD. Right there is NZD. There it is right there. It's been a daily sell for a while, hasn't it? Since here. So we went into the daily sell there. We are been in a weekly buy. Let's move that over like that. Been in a weekly buy since here. We're still in the weekly buy. And the last, let's see, we went into a daily buy here, so that was a nice winner chicken dinner. And then we went into, is that a buy right there? That's a buy right there. And then let's grab that sell. Went into the sell right there. But we're in a weekly buy, so you can't take that. And you really can't take this one either. All you can do is not be long anymore. That's about it. So it's only had one really nice big fat trade. That was that one from here up. That was a nice win. That's a winner, many chicken dinners. And since then, it's just given you warnings. And if, oh, here's basically a failure, I guess. Let's see, it goes into daily buy here, and it goes up for a couple days, and then rolls over. So, how's that, 47? A of okay. And then, let's see, what else we got going on there? And then, let's see. Try to figure out what else we got going. I guess that's about it. That's the Gbp Jpy. Where was I headed before that? Canadian. That's right. Let's take a look at Canadian. There's Canadian. Oh, and let's just take a look at, there's the weekly. So it's trying to do that weekly thing. So it's catching the sell-off. Let's do the daily there. Like so. Oh, is it in the way? There we are. There's Canadian. There's the Gbp Jpy on daily, just rolling over. Let's put Canadian up on this now. Dollar CAD, right there. And see, how do we have it there? So you see it here, it's been marching up, holding on well. Where are we on fact check? Let's see that. In fact, darn it, every time I hit that, I get up with that. I have to cancel that. Dollar CAD. Where's dollar CAD on this? It's Monday morning. There it is, line 20. So it's 5 weeks in a sell and 5 days in a buy. Just like here. You know, the strength is there. And then right there, we're still in a buy. We're seeing a, what are we seeing there? I guess not a volatility. There's just a red dot at the moment. Let's give it a refresh. Look at the weekly. The way the weekly is starting to flirt. Let me give this a refresh. How do I get the refresh? Let's see. Up arrows. Oh no. Oh no. What did I just do? Instrument. Where's my mouse? I just blew something up. Settings. Style maybe? We want bar chart again. Style, invisible bars. Pinky, actually I don't want that one. Just regular bars so we all can see where it's at. Alrighty. Instrument. Style? How did we do that? We blew it up. Cancel. Let's do this. Close. What if I... Where is it at? Where's my bars? I can't see. Let's see. Close workspace. Let's just open it up again. Where are you? Right there. Dukascopy, day, week. Open Sesame. Oh, no problem. No problem, except for I blew up my Canadian chart. Let's see if it's straightened out. It didn't straighten out. What the hell's going on? Oh, man. Format. That's not it. I keep on pushing buttons, I get in trouble. Format. No. What if I do that? There we are. Now what in blazes is that? That's Hinky-Ashi? Is that what it is? I've turned the hinkies on? Messes up my dots. There. Now I'm really confused. The dots got pushed down to here. I'm totally confused there. We want bars. So we're going to fix that. Okay, there it is. Regular. There we go. It pushed our dots down. That's what it is. I don't want that. Oh, no, no, no. I don't want that either. I'm just exploding everywhere. Let's see. How do we get that back down again? So, let's see. Indicator. Is it indicator? Yeah, indicator. Gas line 3. Yeah, that's it. And let's move it. Properties to 2. There we go. And then we can move these guys up to 1. There we go. To 1. There we go. Now it's better. Alright, so there's the Canadian. We can see it. There we go. And look at that. The weekly's trying to turn up. A little surprising. We really thought that Canadian was going to keep on, you know, with the way gold and everything is moving. Let's take a look at the metals complex. That's usually where we go anyway. We go over to oil and metals. We were a little surprised this morning of the weakness still in the indicator, but the strength in the, where's it at? Let me just close this. And let me save that too. And this is the JO. Let's put JO in there. What we'll do is I'll just save it. Save workspace. Save workspace as. Save. Yes. And close workspace. Alright, now let's go back over to Canadian. Oh yes, from Canadian we go to, let's just close this too. We go to the metals. Here we go. That's better. So, I mean, looking at gold, gold is firm, you know, and we keep on thinking when gold goes up, we figure that the Canadian goes down against the dollar, you know, the Canadian gets more valuable, but it's not doing that right now. And same thing with the silver. You see it right there. Silver's rising, and, you know, we're both in weekly buys in both those products. And we're in daily buys, you know, and so I'm a little surprised. And then looking at the crude oil, there's crude. Look at this. Down here, we're playing with a weekly sell now out of nowhere. And, you know, we've been in a daily sell since here. And we're back up to where we went in the daily sell, but now we got a weekly playing with it. So I'm really surprised and confused. I think I understand Mr. Biden is trying to close another pipeline down here in the United States. I'm not sure why they keep on giving the Russians and the Saudis and OPEC opportunity. I don't understand that at all. That's really weird. You know, aren't they supposedly, you know, Biden's always complaining about them, right? So, I mean, I don't understand why, at the same time as he complains about them, he keeps on giving them financial reward. It's very weird. He's very weird. They are out of their minds. But anyway, that's what's going on there with the oil and the silver and the gold, which is not really matching up to what the Canadian is doing. Let's go back to that Canadian. That's not it. Let's see, where's the mouse at? Where's Mr. and Mrs. Mouse? There it is. So let's just go back to the Canadian. You can see it's trying to lift up. We're seeing strength in that thing. And you can see it over here on J4X, same way. It's climbing. Let's see how it looks on a weekly over here too. No, not 4 hour. Weekly, there we are. Yeah, so weekly's trying to climb up this week also. And you can see there's a second green. So, right there. It was little, but it was green last week. And it's trying to climb. So we are seeing buying in the Canadian, or let's put it this way, we're seeing the selling in the Canadian and buying in the dollar. Again, that's, you know, I think we had a title last week somewhere one day was, you know, dollar strength, you know, everything else being sold. It is kind of odd. You know, last week we found, for the last week and a half, we've had this rebellion going on with the central banks. So we've seen the Royal Bank of Canada and Australia break away from the Federal Reserve, and we've seen the ECB try to do the same thing. And we're not sure how that all plays out philosophically. You know, we just can only watch our numbers and see what they're doing, but it is very strange, you know, in the sense of we don't, like I said, I don't know philosophically how that works. Does that mean they just don't pay attention to Mr. Biden anymore in the Federal Reserve? Don't they want their free money overnight? Are they getting tired of the free money overnight? I mean, all those magical questions. You know, I mean, that's that. When you rebel against the Federal Reserve, you get punished. So, you know, we may not see the punishment, but it happens. And so we've got to really wonder what this is all about. You know, what are they doing? You know, what is this magic that's going on? Yeah, it's very confusing. Oh, sure, he'll run for president. Yeah, without a doubt. I don't think Mr. Biden's going to make it to the end of his presidency. I don't think him or his vice president will. I think they'll be impeached. I think all the things they're doing is pretty illegal. And so it's just a matter of time before they get impeached. Republicans have been writing up impeachment proceedings. And so it'll take about another 12 months or so to get it rolling along. So we'll have another year of Biden and the vice president, and then after that, I imagine they'll just impeach them, and then, you know, it'll be like a constitutional thing, where they'll replace these characters with other people, and Mr. Trump will be, you know, they've changed all the laws now so that they can't steal elections anymore. So, yeah, they made it very hard. You can see what's happening here in Jersey. You see what happened in Virginia. I mean, the Virginia gubernatorial candidate was up by 8%, which the polls showed he was, and he only won by like 2.5–3%. They tried to add 5% more votes out of nowhere after the election was over with. It took them 4 or 5 hours to do it, but they did it. But they still couldn't fake vote the population. In Jersey, it took them 24 hours to do it against the governor, but a lot of Republicans won in New Jersey, all over the place. So they can only fake so much, you know. And so they fixed Arizona. Matter of fact, there's proof now, and there's indictments going on, and you know, Mr. Trump got another something crazy like 900,000 votes in Arizona. They've proven that he got 900,000 votes, and he lost the state by some crazy number like 10,000 votes. So he really won the state. And it's the same way in Georgia and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Michigan. They're all doing investigations, and they're all seeing the criminality. So it's not going to be that hard. Remember, Mr. Trump won more votes than any sitting president in history. And so Mr. Biden, who got, I don't know, some crazy number like, you know, 6 million more votes than Mr. Trump, no sitting president has ever had that happen, where they get more votes in history, and at the same time, you know, the opposition gets even more. You know, something's wrong mathematically, and then now they're showing they have all the evidence now. So it's just a matter of time. It'll be, you know, it's the American process. It'll play itself out. But yeah, he'll be the president again. All right, where are we at now? Let's see. So we did Canadians. Let's go check out the South African Rand, which is kind of giving us a warning flash, right? South African Rand seems to be more moving up than it is down. And so, you know, for all the gains in the metals complex, we're not really seeing it translate out in the currency. So there's the South African Rand. And it's been in a daily sell for a couple of days, but it's been in that weekly buy. See that here? It's been in a weekly buy now, going on 7 weeks. And so it's come up from here, the low 114.5s, ran all the way up to, you know, there, and then came back down, played with it there in the weekly, and then ran back up again. And now it's backing off a little bit. And here we've been in daily sell for a couple of days. But we're real surprised that we're not seeing this thing. We thought that this move here was going to bring us, you know, because of the way the metals complex was moving, we thought for sure we were going to see this thing take out this low over here, get into a weekly sell, but it didn't do that. Some action is really occurring over here that's the metals complex is not really helping them at all, which is normally it does. All right, let's take a look at the ruble, see how the ruble's looking. And there's the ruble. And as you can see there, we're seeing the same type of pressure. Dollar a little weak against it, and you can see here today, the weekly is flirting with a weekly buy, and we've been in a weekly sell on this product for what, 12 weeks, something like that. That's on the fact check spreadsheet right there. 13 weeks, right there. Let's see how it looks on J4X. Right there. We're always surprised when we see a higher ruble. I guess that's that military stuff going on right now. But we just think with all the resources that the Russian Federation has, the educated workforce that they have, we're really surprised this thing's not trading in the 30s. Like 41, 42, 38, something like that. 37, something like that. So it just shows you the what we call the backblast, or the blowback. That's the blowback of lack of organizational skills overall. Internal laws, protection of capital, all that other stuff, rule of law. That's what the issue probably is that. So, all right, now I guess we got to figure out the title of this. So, what are we going to call this webinar today? We're at the end of the road here. So, let's see, where's it at? Right there, there we go. So, all right, traders, we will catch you tomorrow on Tuesday. This has been Doc from North America. It's been a good day, good Monday starting. We will catch you all on the flip side. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our Dukascopy friends and Chicago Quant friends. Ta-ta for now.